the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana was established on the 4th of March 1957, 2 days after Ghana's independence, by the Bank of Ghana Ordinance number 34 of 1957, passed by the British Parliament. However, it began formal banking operations on 1st August 1957. If you remember last week, I told you that at first there wasn't anything called Bank of Ghana. Ghana, our money supply and everything was under the West African Currency Board. But after our independence, because we had independence, we tried to have a central bank on our own. This is the organogram of the central bank. We will not go detail into it. So, and these are the governors we had so far. Not so much needed, so don't worry about it. So this is the organogram, organizational structure. We can just glance through. We have the board of directors, and below the board of directors we have the governor of the central bank. And we have 2 deputy governors. So we have the first deputy and the second deputy. The first deputy and the second deputy, they all report to the governor. But outside the deputy governors, we have the Monetary Policy Committee. It is this committee that decides on what the monetary policy rate will be. Remember the monetary policy rate, the rate at which the central bank lends to other banks. So these are just for your appreciation. It can take a different a different form in your country. Just to mention quickly, at first Ghana was not using inflation targeting. Ghana was using monetary targeting. So we targeted the money supply. Either we want to increase or decrease it to cause stability in the economy. But after a while, we realized that inflation targeting is the best. And many African countries, I believe in your country also, inflation targeting is now being used. It's being used all over the world now. So these are just for your appreciation. Let us summarize. So in this section, what have we learned? We have looked at the establishment of Bank of Ghana, its establishment and a brief history. So as I mentioned, not all within this are so much needed. The most important things I would like you to take notes since we started monetary policy is, let me just start with you, since we started money and banking, to summarize the whole topic. Let me quickly do the summary. So the first thing is the meaning of money. You should know the meaning of money, and we learned how money came about or came into being, and how has it evolved over the period. We have also looked at the barter system, where goods and services are directly exchanged for other goods and services. And we said this system preceded the introduction of money, but had some problems and challenges. You remember the problems of barter? So key among them was a double coincidence of wants. I also mentioned that there are 2 forms of money. We have the commodity money and the fiat money. The commodity money is, or the crude money is, the money having intrinsic value, having value on itself, and the fiat money or fiduciary money is money that has the value on the currency higher than the value of the commodity that was used to produce that money. So what we use now is fiat money. Also, we've talked about the four main functions performed by money: medium of exchange, measure of value, store of value, and standard of deferred payment. We looked at the key features of money. Every money should have these features. It must be durable, it must be acceptable, it must be stable in value, portable, divisible, relatively scarce. These have been discussed. In the absence of these features, or when money begins to lose these features, the consequences that follow also we looked at it. If your money is not stable in value, if it is not portable, people will start, if it is the cedi, people will start keeping their money in dollars. People will start engaging in trade without the money, but they will be using commodities to engage in the trade. They will be keeping, so there are many consequences which we've which are in the material. Okay, and finally we've looked at demand for money, the motives for which people, do you remember the motives for which people hold real money balances? Transactional motive, precautionary motive, and speculative motive. Okay, is there anything we need to summarize again? We have also looked at the definition of a bank as a financial institution and the intermediary role the banks play between clients. We have also looked at the main categories of banks. In the past, we had universal bank, merchant bank, but now we have class 1 and class 2. We have the central bank, which is Bank of Ghana, and other banks, commercial banks, which are involved in other functions. We looked at the functions of banks, the functions of the central bank, and we've also discussed the process of money creation, how banks, the activities of banks, fit in the process of money creation. So, to end, we want to summarize what we've